The North American P-51 Mustang is one of the most iconic fighter aircraft of all time, and not to mention one of my personal favorites, which is why I'm incredibly excited to be taking a look at the brand new P-51D Mustang from Arrows RC. Today, we're going to be unboxing, assembling, and flying this brand new plane. I'm Alex from Hangar 14 RC. Let's get to it. Let's go ahead and get this thing opened up and out onto the build table. Now, even though this is going to be a smaller airplane, there are a lot of details I'm noticing while pulling out all of the parts that I really like. Overall, there aren't too many pieces included with this plane, which should make assembling this thing pretty quick. On top of that, there's no glue required to put this thing together either. Taking a look at everything on the table, you can really see the attention to detail in things like the molded panel lines, a great looking color scheme, and even some LED navigation lights. But what really surprised me was things like the amount of detail on things like the drop tanks and the fact that we get a decently detailed cockpit. It's also nice to see that Arrows took the time to cover up the servo wires with some color match tape, which helps disguise these 9-gram servos a little bit more. This plane is powered by a 1300 kV brushless motor and a 30 amp speed control that we will be connecting to a 3S 1300 milliamp battery pack. And to add even more detail, we have this sheet of water slide decals. So here it is all laid out. Now let's put it together. First, we're going to install our wings. Now this is done by sliding our carbon fiber support tube through the fuselage and then sliding each of our wing halves on, feeding both the servo wire and LED wire through the fuselage, making sure they don't get pinched when the wing is fully in place. Flipping the plane over, we're going to secure the wings with 4 screws, tightening them down snug, but not too tight. You don't really want to strip out the threads or start crunching the foam. Inside the fuselage, you'll find a 4-plug harness that you can connect all 4 of your wires to. Now, it doesn't matter which ones connect to where, you just got to make sure that you connect them so that the wire colors match. Next, we slide our elevator into place. Now make sure to do it from this side as there already is a control horn on the elevator. Now this is then secured by 2 longer screws which are screwed in from the bottom. Since this is a smaller airplane, we do have fixed landing gear which are snapped into place and can be removed easily at the field if you want. Same goes with the fuel drop tanks. Time to install our receiver and get some power to this thing. We're going to be using a 4-channel receiver, however I would recommend getting a 6-channel so you can utilize the vector flight control system to its full potential. With our elevator servo now centered, we can attach the elevator push rod, which we can adjust to length by spinning the ball connector and then snap it into place. Our final step of assembly is to install our scale 4-bladed propeller and our spinner, making sure everything is aligned properly and tightened down before snapping on the spinner itself. Now for the tedious part, the decals. Now these are really optional since the plane already comes with the larger decals on it, but I really wanted to do this thing justice, so we spent a solid hour or so cutting and installing all of the water slide decals. Now this did take a little bit of extra time to do, but I do think it was worth it because I mean, look at this thing. So here it is, the brand new 850mm P-51D Mustang from Arrows. This thing went together so incredibly well and fast and so simple. No glue required, which was awesome. I think the longest amount of time that was invested in the overall assembly of this thing was putting all the water slide decals on. Now that's something you don't have to do, but honestly it does add a really nice touch to a lot of areas of the plane. There was a bunch of them to put on. So a little bit time consuming on the decal part of things, but overall this thing went together, and I'm not even kidding, like think you can put this together in like 10 minutes and have it ready to go if you have all the stuff to do so. So super easy assembly. This is ready to go. We do have the Vector flight stabilization in here that comes with the model, whether that's you're going with the plug-and-play version like this or the ready-to-fly version. We're going to just have it in the assist today, so it's just going to be a little bit of stabilization, especially with a little bit of wind that we got out here. But this thing I'm really excited for. We do have a grass runway out here at the field that we're flying at. We are moving into winter as well, so it's been a little bit since the grass has been cut because it's not growing nearly as fast because it's been so cold out. So we're going to see how this thing does in the grass. A little bit of a tiny, tiny landing gear on here. It's a smaller airplane. We'll give it a shot. If anything, the nice thing is that these things come off really simple. They just pop off, so you can, take the landing gear off if needed, and we'll probably just hand launch it if we have to. But should be decent. We'll see how it goes. Whoop, I lost one of my water slide decals. That's unfortunate. Anyway, we're gonna go ahead and get this thing powered up, get the CG balance out, which I did notice as well. And as I was balancing out the center of gravity, it's already marked on there. No need to go marking up your airplane already. It's already on there, which is super nice. I think more companies should do that. So this thing balances out pretty good already. We got a 3S 1300 LiPo in here. The battery tray that slides out makes this really nice to load up. We do have it pushed pretty far forward to get it to balance out. So I don't know if they're expecting a little heavier battery in there or what, but we do have it sitting off the tray in the front just a little bit to get it to where they say the center of gravity should be. So just a quick note on that, but we're gonna go ahead and get this thing powered up. Let's take it for flight. And we do have a little bit of water out here, so we're gonna try to avoid the low spots if possible. Grass doesn't look, honestly, that long at all. I think they might have mowed it about right here. Looks good. Man, those lights are super bright on the wingtips there. All right, so here we go. Maiden flight of the brand new 850mm Arrows P-51D. I'm excited for this. Hopefully we can get it off the ground with no issues here. Let's give her a go. I'll try that again. What did I say? Oh, come on now. Oh, come on! We might have to hand launch this. Hopefully I didn't break the prop. Propeller looks good. That's good. I'm gonna try it one more time, otherwise we might have to hand launch it. There we go. And we're up. We're gonna work our way back. Unless you just want to stand out here, I'm good with whatever. All right, well, right away, this thing is flying beautifully. The Vector in there, keeping it nice and straight with the wind that we got out here, a little bit gusty. Well, this thing is flying beautifully. And that looks amazing in the sky. We got the red tail livery on there. Got the nice bright lights on the wingtips, the navigation lights, the red and got the auxiliary fuel tanks on the outside too, the drop tanks. During the assembly, we noted that those are really scale. Oh, this thing flies like a dream. Even for being a smaller airplane and it being a little bit windy out here, this thing flies super good. I'm keeping about half throttle or so. It does like a little bit more throttle, it seems. But I haven't had to do a touch of trim really at all. Of course, probably dial it in a little bit here. Maybe a little bit of, maybe like one click of right aileron, I guess. Try to keep it out of the sun. Oh, this is awesome. Oh, dang. It's got plenty of vertical climb on it. Again, this is a 3S 1300 milliamp battery. So it's not going to be the quickest thing in the world, but for a plane this size, it flies like it should. Oh, man. Love the profile of the P-51. We really should try to do like a hand launch flight with it so we can get those landing gear off of there, just see it as is and maybe get a little bit more performance out of it. But this thing looks beautiful. The sun hitting it right off the top of the wings there. we kind of lucked out with the weather. We were getting some rain on the way out here, and it's been overcast and kind of crappy all day, but they knew we needed to fly the new Mustang. So we got some good weather. Oh man, this thing flies so sweet. Aerobatic performance, really decent. It's got plenty of authority. I'm running, I believe, 20% expo on the ailerons and 15% on the elevator, which really helps smooth things out. Usually with the smaller planes, they do get a little bit twitchy because obviously you need the control surface. Sometimes gets a little out of whack and they get a little squirrely, a little twitchy. Expo in here, and I think we honestly nailed it. Oh, this thing flies absolutely beautiful. Let's fire some inverted here. Absolutely no problem at all. It rolls really well too. No weird axis tendencies, I should say. That rolls like a dream. Talked about the vertical performance on it a little bit. Let's go ahead and get a loop out of it. Absolutely no problem. Big old beautiful loop. Oh yeah, this thing is awesome. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and bring her in for a landing here, see if we can without nosing her over too bad. And I think we should try maybe doing a hand launch on it and see what that's like. See if the wind can cooperate a little bit. We got a gnarly crosswind coming right at our backs, so this will be a little bit interesting. And of course, the smaller landing gear on here, probably for your fields with, you know, either paved runway or some really short grass. Just trying to get our best approach here so we don't smoke it up too bad, because I have a feeling it's going to nose over on us. No flaps on this either, it's just a 4-channel plane. Coming with a little bit of speed. Hey, oh, we were doing so good. I was just like, hey, we made it. I think it caught a little bit of a puddle or something. All right, let's go ahead and take the landing gear off here, see what we can get. Now, the question is, I love the look of the drop tanks on, but I feel like if we keep the drop tanks on with the landing gear off, it's not gonna survive. Really like this feature too, because especially like out here, for instance, you know, the belly landing and without the landing gear might be the best bet. You don't need tools to do that. Oh man, it looks so good with the drop tanks, but I think we're gonna have to take them off. I like the way they look and I'd like to keep them. So I think we're gonna have to, if we want them to survive. Again, those just clip in with the rail system, super easy. Can be detached really nice. All right.
Keep the back wheel on?
Yeah, back wheel will stay on. All right, should we give her a go?
Oh, wait.
That thing's got the power, man. All right, we'll see how the performance varies with the landing gear off here. Profile looking a lot sleeker, going a little bit. Don't mind my timer, I just had a 3-minute timer on here. We should be able to get 6 minutes on here. We're not pushing it too hard. Oh yeah. That looks like a Mustang should right there. Absolutely beautiful. This is only my second plane from Arrows, and I continue to be really impressed with their stuff, both with the scale detail, even with a small plane like this, where obviously you're not going to get things like retracts and flaps and stuff like that. They still didn't skimp on the detail. The cockpit looks really, really good. The panel lines were modeled very, very well. The attention to detail with like the ordnance and the propeller and just everything else, the amount of decals that came with it looks really, really good. The other one that I have in my collection being the T-28, the 1.1 meter, that having retracts, flaps, a whole 9 yards. Super impressed with that one, and this is honestly just as much fun. Can't go wrong with a P-51. Do a few more passes here, then we'll figure out how we're gonna land this thing and keep the propeller in one piece. We might just go try and ditch it in the long grass or something. Oh man, I love this. This looks so good. When the light, or when the sun hits it just right, the silver paint on there just absolutely pops. Beautiful. Do a inverted pass here. So you can climb out in the inverted, absolutely. One thing we haven't tried yet is a knife edge. We'll see what we can do with the rudder here. Keep the throttle on, keep the throttle on. It actually does knife edge pretty well. Takes a lot of the throttle to do so, to keep it up in the air, but it did it. That wasn't even full rudder either. Let's try one from this way. All right, let's go ahead and see if we can get this thing on the ground here. And hopefully keep our propeller in one piece. Keep the nose up. Try not to stall it. Ooh! I think we're good. It wasn't pretty, but it worked. We did ding up the edge of here a little bit, but overall she'll fly another day. Look at that. So there you have it, the brand new Arrows P-51D Mustang, 850 millimeter size. Honestly, for such a compact little airplane, this thing flew phenomenal. It did absolutely fantastic. It flew great. It looked amazing in the air. The only real struggle we had was just with our grass runway out here that continues to just kind of battle us with the amount of jets and things that we have, especially with things with smaller landing gear. That's no fault of the model. That's just is how it is. We really need to find a place with like a paved surface or something to fly these off of, but we made her work and it flew great. I am super impressed with this thing. Again, this is a brand new plane that just came out from Arrows. So thank you, Arrows, for sending this out my way to take a look at and review. I really, really appreciate it. And if you guys are at all interested in checking this out for yourself, I put a link down in the description for you to check out. Go ahead and check it out. See if it's you know, something for you, because honestly, this thing really, really did impress me, and I really like it. I can't wait to get some more flights on it. So thank you all so much for watching. If you guys haven't subscribed yet, please consider doing so. Keeps the channel going and keeps me doing what we're doing here. So really appreciate it. Other than that, we're gonna go get some more batteries charged up on this thing, and we'll see you later.